Hey, welcome to Will Cook Music Reviews. I'm Will Cook, and this is it, Einsteins of Consciousness, the final album from Canadian drum and bass alternative rock duo USS, Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker. It's too bad, they've been making waves in the Canadian music scene for over 10 years, but I feel like they've only ever really gained traction in Canada. Like pretty much every other band in the list of fans also like on Spotify is Canadian. And in their About section, you can see the top spots where people listen from are all Canadian cities. They're the type of band that I'm sure could fill up some pretty decently sized venues in Canada, but is probably playing to some smaller crowds in other parts of the world, or is maybe the opening act. And I don't know the exact reasoning behind their decision to put USS to rest, but they should definitely be proud of the mark that they've made on many music fans like myself over the years. I remember being introduced to them on Big Shiny Tunes 13 with Hollow Point Sniper Hyperbole back in 2008. A good song, but I hardly associate it with the USS that I know today. It was because I never even dived into the band until 2014's Advanced Basics, which was when they were opening for Mother Mother on tour. And I was thrilled with the stuff that I found on that album. Hydro Genuine, This Is the Best, Frequency, Shipwreck, lots of fun to be had with those songs. It led me to check out 2011's Approved, which holds, I'd say, the song that hits me in the gut more than anything else from these guys with Yo Hello Hooray Every Day. It can fuel me on a run while also bringing me close to tears. An incredible track. And as wonderful as that song is, I don't remember anything else from that release leaving a mark on me. So I guess I just never felt compelled to go back even further and check out their 2009 debut album, Questimation. I did continue with them though into 2016's New World Alphabet, which I had a decent enough time with. I came away from that release with Alien as a new favorite. And now 4 years later, they've got one more album for us, but it is not all brand new material. The song Medicine was released as a single back in June of 2018, and I am sorry, but that is way too long of a gap between single and album. I do not want to hear a song from over 2 years ago on a new album. And maybe I'm a bit bitter because I never even really cared for the song all that much to begin with. When it comes to USS, I'd say it's about as typical as they get. Frontman Ash Bucholtz's scratchy vocals aren't particularly pleasing, and the chorus is catchy, but I find it comes off just grating and annoying for the most part. Later in 2018, they released another song from this album with Big Life, 26 letters, and I do get a bit more enjoyment from this one, less obnoxious. You get an inspirational, stomping, EDM-laced hook, and yeah, easier on the ears, but still not a song that got me all that excited when I saw it was on this album over 2 years later. And that was it for the ridiculously early singles. We got Happy back in October, and I'm enjoying this one more than both Big Life and Medicine. The crunching guitar build to the hook is sweet, and I really like the line, I said it's time for change, and now it's raining clocks. And I love the drop they pull off with the "You got me feeling so boom boom ba-da-dum." But then the final single, Feel Alive, is the biggest disappointment of all the singles, and it's about as underwhelming as it gets on the whole album. The vocals in the verses sound like a bland Missio song. And then you get the familiar scratchy voice for the main build-up refrain, and it's like, is this going somewhere good? And no, it drops into this ugly EDM beat that just has me asking why. It's a dull song with a shockingly upsetting EDM part, and I just can't pull any redeeming qualities from it. And diving into the rest of the album, there are a few other massive letdowns that I can only say so much about. It doesn't get any worse than Stir the Pot with its silly repetitive hook. We need to stir the pot, it needs to be stirred. It's a well-intentioned song choosing to smile through the catastrophe, but my god, does this one ever take their sound in the wrong direction. Light Army has some grit, but a tiring chorus, and the final two, In Balance and Dragons, both fail to leave any mark on me. Balance is the emotional slow song, and there's a weightlessness to appreciate about it, but that weightlessness also makes it about the most forgettable song of the album. And Dragons, apparently the album version is the original demo, which is pretty cool. And I can appreciate the warped EDM elements. It's definitely a bit more unique than some of the other stuff on this, but I still find it completely uncompelling. And it's even more of a slap in the face being the final song on their final album. Like, that's it? I feel bad, you know? I respect these guys. They've given me some great stuff in the past, and it sucks to talk shit about their music. Not like I could do any better. But ultimately, I'm here to share my opinion, however harsh that may be, and hopefully anyone who disagrees with my thoughts can at least see where I'm coming from. And I will finish this review on a positive note, because though half of the album I never care to hear again, the other half holds some promise. iWant pulls in these orchestral synths with grooving bass to create a bit of a majestic atmosphere, and it's a very nice listen, even though I'm not completely gripped by it. And the following Aya, I had some trouble with at first, but it's grown to be one of my favorites with its moody presence and a super strong chorus that I'm surprised took me so long to grab onto. It's got a soft intensity to it that didn't stand out to me right away, but it is easily one of the most emotionally powerful songs of the album. Pages is another favorite, and I knew this was a standout from the first listen. Feels kind of distraught. Ash seems to be battling this mental health crisis, and there's a lot to appreciate within that light guitar work in the building pre-chorus, which leads to a not explosive, but a nice rise of a hook that gives you this gritty melody. And I'd say they came the closest to perfection on this album with the opening track, Undivided. You know, the best of USS for me gives me an emotional uplift with a real driving force to it, and the impact they make with the hook on this one definitely gives me some of that. The drop in with that synthwave crash that washes over you feels very rewarding, and then it adds that snappy 808 beat to give it that driven force, and it just creates that perfect balance between a fast pull and a wave of emotion. And there you have it. That sums up my thoughts. The final album from USS. You know, a lot on here was not what I was hoping for, but I'm glad I was able to take a few songs from this that I'll be keeping close. I've rated each song, I've crunched the numbers, and I've settled on an overall rating of 5.5. Hope you're not too upset with my pretty harsh opinion here. I appreciate you checking the video out, and I'd love a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you saw. You can hit the subscribe. I've got more on the way, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Tear me apart. I'd love to chat. I'll see you next time.